provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-9336. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-444-9336. 800-444-9336.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Huzzah! Weekends now through April 2nd.
It's awesome.
I love it. It's great for the family. All our kids love it. That's why we come here. Yes.
Good times can be had by all.
It's the best time we have every year. It's a great time for everyone. Join us at the Renaissance Festival! Huzzah!
Come and have a turkey leg.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Huzzah! Weekends now through April 2nd.
Discount tickets available at Bashes and Food City or Arizona.renfestinfo.com. Presented by Delta Airlines, Bashes, Food City, Pepsi, Budweiser, and Guinness.
You come out here and you really have a good time. My kids love it.
There's lots of shops to go to. Hair braiding, face painting. Oh, and I really like the meat sticks, the turkey. Whoa! Huzzah!
There's so much going on. Make sure you come out early and stay all day.
Pepsi is a proud sponsor of the Arizona Renaissance Festival. Enjoy a Pepsi with royalty at the Renaissance Festival this weekend. Huzzah!
For more info, go to arizona.renfest.com.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down. Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it. All right, everybody, it's Thursday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale, and what should have been the start to a magnificent day is now turned to sadness and sorrow. Yes, I mean, we were getting ready to celebrate Kevin Durant, showing up with the Suns, and there's other things that we should be happy about. Many things that we should be happy about. But just before the show began, we have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, breaking news here on the Daily Blender. Breaking news. NFL referee. Yeah, I got to be careful here. I'm trying not to get emotional. NFL referee Jerome Bozier has decided to retire.
No,
Not
Jeffrey, I'm sorry.
Jerome Bozier.
I'm sorry,
Holding
Jeffrey.
Tanya Pante
for down.
how am I going to live without you, Jerome? How am I supposed to live without you?
Yeah, it's a very melancholy day here on the Daily Blender.
My favorite referee of all time.
Yeah, I can see why.
He is the best ref, yeah. No. He's a horrible referee. Oh, no. But he's my favorite ref.
When I say the best, I mean the guy himself.
He only got to do one Super Bowl, and that shows you how bad he is. They're like, hey, Jerome, want to do Super Bowl? Yeah. And then he does it, and they're like, we're not going to have him do that again. That was bad. That was very bad. So, a bunch of other guys from the referee crew retire, but he was the only head referee guy. So, Jerome Bozier.
Yeah, gone too soon.
Just going to really be a bummer this season.
Yeah.
You know? He got him wrong more often than he got him right, but I didn't care. Just to hear his voice.
It's the way he got him wrong. Yeah.
That's why he's the best.
And if there was a Jerome Bozier game and there was overtime, I would get erect. I'm not even kidding. I mean, just the fact
the overtime rules are the path follows. It just the whole thing was perfect. So Jerome Boger, 67, deciding to retire, which I can't blame him for doing that, but nobody's going to tap him. Nobody is going to tap him to be, let's check with Jerome Boger and see what he thinks of the call. Nobody.
No, it won't translate well to the broadcast, will it?
I feel like that maybe this was intentional. It was a coin toss, Jerome. Of course it was intentional.
Yeah.
But he'll probably end up being an analyst for the XFL, USFL, AAF, or maybe the Pac-12. Whatever it is, it won't be
probably not the F.
Yeah, it won't be anything substantial. So Jerome Boger, for all the wrong reasons, he will be missed.
Gone too soon.
That just kicked me right in the crotch when I heard that.
Sorry,
Jerome Boger.
He's the only referee that I know where he's just that wrong all the time, and I don't mind.
Yeah.
Never bothered me.
First, what happens is you hear him say, holding, Danielle penalty, first down. Then you hear the announcers go, really? Oh, wow. Okay, sure. Oh, all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody speak a crossword about Jerome Boger.
I mean, it was the national anthem, but all right, Jerome. All right. That's
yeah.
Guess we're going to start this way.
Well
okay.
done.
Oh, brother.
Encroachment.
Yeah, encroachment. My favorite part was watching a confused Jerome Boger trying to work the controls for the instant replay. I swear to God, I saw him one time looking at it like this for a while and then turning it upside down. Oh.
Or that one time he gave the penalty call, but his mic wasn't on. And then he tried to turn it off, but he then turned it on. And then he was talking, but he wasn't giving the penalty. It was a whole mess. It was a beautiful mess that only Jerome Boger could give you.
A beautiful mess. Yeah,
that is one good way to put his retirement party. That should be the banner right there.
So long to a beautiful mess.
It's gonna be sad.
Yeah.
Sad without Jerome. Kiss the Cook says, "Let's start today off with a question." That sounded like a statement, but he says, "If I start dressing like a cowboy, am I ranch dressing?" Kiss the Cook, I'd say you're better than that, but so far we have not seen the evidence.
We failed to see it every single time.
That's a 5-minute bad joke penalty. We will not read any text from Kiss the Cook for the next 5 minutes. Other kind of a bummer of the news is the Coyotes, a couple of first period goals from Hayton and Keller, looking good. And then the Dallas Stars remembered, hey, wait a second, we're the Stars. Oh yeah, we're the Stars. And just completely destroyed the Coyotes. 4-2. So they scored in every period. The Coyotes just before the Dallas Stars could wake up, were able to get a couple on them. So all right, whatever. Not to be not to be unexpected there or nothing. Huh? So any comments by anybody else?
It is that kind of season for the Coyotes. Yeah.
Okay. So now we can talk about the old Kevin Durant thing. I loved what I saw last night, and I loved how they did it last night. They had him on a pitch count, and he kind of came out. They weren't like forcing it. They weren't trying to. They were just playing ball. That was the whole thing that Monty Williams was trying to say. It's like, every guys just go out there and just play some ball. Don't worry about who's the leader. Don't worry about who's gonna. And they ended up having, a lot of the ball getting moved around to a lot of people. There's nobody being selfish, and DeAndre Ayton got his looks. Devin Booker got his looks. Kevin Durant, in a short amount of time, 23 points. So had he played the full game, he'd probably averaged up by 30. So, it seemed right. Everybody seemed relaxed. Nobody was making faces at each other, although Devin Booker was making kind of a weird face when Kevin Durant was taunting the crowd a little bit. But outside of that, and then Kevin Durant at the end of the game, when he was on with the guys in the booth there for Bally's, he was just he was like, oh yeah, except for Devin missed a couple free throws. So it's all good natured, and of course it starts good natured, and then 3 years from now, and then Devin missed a bunch of damn free throws. But right now it's a honeymoon, so it's nice. So everything just seemed comfortable and nice.
Did anybody see it differently than me? Because that's
No,
what I saw.
And I love the fact that he came out and he did not look like he was coming off an injury. He was for the first couple of shots. I think he was maybe a bit rusty, but he zoned in his sights right away.
Yeah, I mean, he was effective when he was out there. He made some shots. You're like, wow, that looked easy. Didn't that just look easy, effortless? Not everything was perfect, but you're like, wow.
Yeah, and the thing I noticed was how much space was out there, and everybody out there was playing one-on-one. It was Ayton at the basket. It was one-on-one. There were no doubles. Booker one-on-one, and you can't really guard these guys one-on-one. Durant, and that's I think why it looked so easy. Was just Kevin Durant one-on-one with somebody, hits him with the crossover, rises up, nails the shot. It's about as routine a thing for him that exists. You kind of have to double him, but someone's going to try and do it, and I think they're going to be burned in a variety of other ways when they make that attempt too.
So it was just sort of like a soft opening, as they say in the business. But here's the thing that I did notice. Anytime the bench was on the floor, well, it didn't go great. But you threw out one of these starters with a bunch of bench players and things were stable. So what you're going to start seeing is certain guys are going to sit while other guys are still playing with the bench players to try to even out the weakness that you might see in the bench. Here's what I like about the Suns. They have an amazing starting lineup, but they can sort of interweave some of their starters with their bench players to get past those sorts of times. But when they did have all the starters off, that's when the Charlotte Hornets were able to start kind of coming back at you. And, they were shorthanded. They should not have been coming back. So we still have some big deficits, I think, on that bench. But, I just can't complain about what we saw there. But if Kevin Durant gets to play more minutes, then that makes the rotation of starters in and off the floor and interweaving some bench players with the starters something you can kind of do. So where you're not tiring out your starting lineup, but you're also not, losing a 20-point lead down to a 10-point lead in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, and it's funny that you said that the guys were just out there playing ball, because Monty said that that's basically what's going to happen. He's not worried that those guys are going to get along. He said the actual difficult part is going to be on the coaching staff and figuring out how to stagger those minutes and get those rotations right so that you never have anybody out there that's a bench player that's being exposed. Also, Landry Shamet still out, and Terrence Ross is out, and we're still trying to figure out exactly what Monty wants to do with TJ Warren. But once that stuff gets solidified, I think the bench is also going to play a little bit better too.
Well, I think that the reason that Kevin Durant can kind of slide in here so easily is the lack of egos. Now, everybody's got a healthy ego, okay? DeAndre Ayton's had his moments. I'm sure Kevin Booker's had his moments. And Kevin Durant, he's had his moments. I mean, look, he was trying to, assert his will over an owner, a team, and a coach. But, when it comes down to it, these guys, if everybody's just cool with everybody, there should not be a problem. And that's the kind of the sense I got. Now, the question is, if anybody's going to pop any kind of an ego and try to be the alpha dog of this outfit, who do you think it will be? Chris Paul, I think, is at a point where it would have been him 5 years ago, maybe more. He would have been trying to be the alpha dog, and that would have got on some nerves. But I think now he's just kind of like, yeah, I know where I'm at in my career, and this is cool. We're having a good time. Booker is just very chill. DeAndre Ayton, generally very chill. So is Kevin Durant the ego heir apparent here?
Maybe he'd be the most likely one, but he doesn't strike me as having that. I mean, that's the reason why he went to Golden State and it worked basically.
Right.
Who joins a team that's built that way and then doesn't really have a problem, and it wasn't until the end when him and Draymond were chirping at each other.
Yeah.
And even then that wasn't an alpha thing. I think they just didn't see eye to eye, on how they were going to play. But, this Suns team, personality wise, reminds me of that Warriors team where there's no person that's, in it for themselves really. And the thing that's really cool about Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton and Kevin Durant and even Chris Paul, they're such efficient scorers. No one has to shoot less. No one's going to worry about that. because Kevin took 15 shots and scored 23 points. Devin Booker took 26 shots and scored 37. So none of these guys really need the ball all that much to be able to score. And I think that's what is really going to help this fit in the long run.
It was nice to see is more defensive work than we're used to because now there's certain pressures that are taken off. DeAndre Ayton can linger a little bit more around the defensive basket, you know what I'm saying, and get some more defensive rebounds than he has in the past. And, to his credit, Kevin Durant plays some fairly good defense. I mean, I think that you just added this one guy and it has absolutely changed the look of the Suns. And all the times we've always wondered what's missing here. Well, now you know what it is. It's a guy like Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Kevin Durant did nothing but make this team more efficient. This team is a very efficient team now. If they can stay healthy going down the stretch here, I think this is going to be a wonderful ride with KD in the lineup. This next test is going to be against Dallas. I mean, we're playing Chicago next. We're in Chicago, but then on Sunday night, it's on to Dallas to take on a pretty damn good Mavericks team. We'll see how this team fares against Dallas because everybody knows right now Chicago is not playing great ball. So their next big test, I mean, you don't want to overlook a team. I'm not saying that.
No, of course not.
You go into Chicago and do your duty, do your business, and then you go on to Dallas and take care of business there. So
you're right because Chicago is another tune-up game, and you've got to play them like a real game, but you can be a little more loose. And if it starts to go the wrong way, then you get a little more serious. But I would see Friday as that, just another Hornets game. Let's just kind of get comfortable together. Let's get into a rhythm. But I will say, once they hit Dallas, it's go time. Now you're going to see something, and I would bet that Kevin Durant will not be on any sort of time restrictions. They're going to come in there and go bonkers on them.
I would imagine that'd be the case. Yeah,
I think so. And look, I understand the Bulls aren't playing the best right now, and you can look at where their record is in the Eastern Conference, but they have won 3 out of their last 4. So like Randy said, don't overlook them necessarily. But I do think that there's just an opportunity for this team to continue to gel together without having to do a whole lot with Kevin Durant. I think when you start to go to the Mavs game, what you're really looking for is trying to figure out what the defense is going to look like. How do they match up against a team that kind of presents a lot of the same problems when you have, 2 really dominant scorers that are going to be hard to stop? How do you figure out a way to slow that down? Because the Mavs do also have really quality role players. And if you can't figure out stopping Luka and Kyrie, those guys are going to be able to eat too.
And this is where DeAndre Ayton needs to earn that money. 888-368-1580. Baker's Cocky Hen says, as Jerome Bozier, ruining on the field stand. I fucked at being a ref, but I did it so politely that people love me. I just like that he sounded like the ladies' man from Saturday Night Live.
It's like a Southern charm thing going on with Jerome Bozier. It was very, it was very strange, but also that's why we like him.
Baker's Cocky Hens also says that he noticed Devin Booker, again, never goes over his assist line and makes me money. Man, Booker looks good with a real player next to him, too, by the way. Bench guys also have been hurt off and on, so hopefully everybody has time to get over that the next 3 months of the NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
Heavy Metal Maniac says, hey, could you or Randy or even Keon do something about these new baseball rules? I need longer time to sell my beer, damn it.
Sorry, you have to take it up with the old drunky drunk there in Manhattan. He's a guy to talk to.
Are you really noticing a difference in that, Heavy Metal Maniacs? Keep in mind, it is preseason, so you may not be seeing the amount of playtime that you would in a regular game. But, I don't think we have any sort of power to do that. Do we?
No.
Unfortunately, no.
Okay. Colts fan Dan says the NFL PA report cards came out and showed the Cardinals suck. Yeah, well, we covered that yesterday. He says one example is players have to buy their food. And, we covered all that. He says the only team with that policy, Bidwell. Yep, we covered all of that. But what we did not cover, and it turned out to be a thing, was some more information, not about the Cardinals. We get it. Cardinals, weight room and facilities suck. And like, so they're charging players for food. That's like, I don't know. If we had like somebody making food at the radio station, and we knew that was coming out of our checks, I don't think we'd be mad about it at all. I think as long as it was a fair price.
Well, keep in mind, these guys are on, specific dietary constraints, especially during the season. And I still think it's stupid. I mean, these guys are out there, day in and day out working out at this facility if they have something to eat. But I mean, I get it. We probably wouldn't think another thing about it. But these guys are used to, all through their college careers and everything. They go to the dining facility, whatever. It's all provided for them. Now all of a sudden, you got to go to the professionals and you got to pay for everything. So,
we're paying you money.
Yeah, but it's the standard of the thing. I mean, everybody else they don't have to pay. You come here to Phoenix and you got to pay. You see what I mean? It's just sort of a chintzy side of the team. I don't like it.
It's a little bit of a burr, but I don't think it's like a thing that you should be like,
I mean, I don't know if it's not like they're getting cafeteria food. I mean, you're trying to get food that, has the right nutrients for these guys and what it is that you're asking them to do. If you're the owner, shell out some coin for that. Like, I don't understand why that has to fall on the player to do, because they're responsible for their own meals when they're away from the.
But that's not the biggest thing for me. For me, it would be the rest of it. I mean, I put the box lunch aside. For me, the rest of it, make sure your training facility is top notch. Make sure your weight facility is top notch. I mean, don't let these guys go work out in some closet somewhere. I mean, make it so that these guys can get some work done. Yeah, I mean,
but make sure the facility's good.
The biggest complaint for me is the training facility and the locker room and that sort of thing.
Well, Colts fan Dan is also saying, well, maybe this is Bidwill's way to save money, after overpaying Kyler Murray. It's been this way well before Kyler Murray. So
he didn't wake up one day and go, how am I making this money back?
Well, one thing at least you can say, Randy, is the Cardinals don't have rats. And that is the thing that everybody's complaining about with the Jaguars. They are rats everywhere. We'll talk about that more when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
NBA tonight, the Dallas Mavericks home to take on the Philadelphia 76ers. Dallas a 3-point home favorite, minus 142. 76ers plus 120, over under 229. San Antonio finally home after the rodeo trip, spent the last 9 games on the road. They'll be hosting the Indiana Pacers tonight. Indiana a 6.5-point road favorite, minus 240. San Antonio plus 198, over under 237.5. Golden State home to face the LA Clippers. Los Angeles a 3.5-point road favorite, minus 166. The Warriors plus 140. The over-under 232. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
If you are an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits, the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
1580 The Fanatic is your home for college basketball action.
Thursday night, the Fighting Illini look to stay perfect against the Juwan Howard-led Michigan Wolverines. Tip time is 5 p.m. on The Fanatic.
Listen to all the action live from premier games and conference showdowns, high-paced action, last-minute buzzer beaters, and all the drama that is college basketball, all in one place. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and I was messing around earlier today. I keep seeing all these people with these AI sort of edited photos and produced photos, and I keep seeing those. I thought, what would happen if I put the Daily Blender photo through one of those things? And I didn't tell it what to do. I just said, here's a photo of us, and it made us into like sort of anime, and then Randy, That de-aged you quite a bit right
yeah,
there.
I don't know
Your
what's going
beard's
on there.
gone.
Yeah, well,
But yeah, this is pretty bad on the YouTube thing. I'm getting a big glare off my light. But Keon, you look like anime, but I also realized that the computer turned your polo shirt into a Nehru jacket. It has buttons straight up and down like a chef.
Yeah.
And then Randy, you've got medals on your chest, like
Yes,
you
I
were
do.
just in the war or something.
Yeah.
There's Randy. Now you can see it better.
Yeah.
There's Randy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also look like I'm from Japan or something.
I'm not mad about what they did to me. You know, that's all right.
Yeah.
But and then Keon has like he's winking at you. You know, it's like he's he knows something you don't, or he's sleeping with one eye open because he doesn't trust you.
Yeah. He's got
So
his
what
eye
do you think
on
about
you.
that, Keon?
Yeah, it fits.
Yeah. I know. I gotta get in there and like Photoshop a little beard on Randy, though. I don't know why I took your beard away, Randy.
I don't know. And in that picture, my eyes are like wide open. I don't know why my eyes are squinty closed now.
Oh, that's what they do with anime.
Oh, is that
Everybody
what it is? Oh, okay. All right.
Everybody is like this. And they're all very happy.
Yeah, I understand now. All right.
Like that.
Very well.
I didn't realize my face can turn to anime anytime I want. Okay. Randy's chuckle talking about last night's game says, I don't think Booker has taken so many uncontested shots since high school. He looked a little shocked at how open he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, this Suns team is going to give other teams a nightmare. It's like, who do we shut down? Because every one of these guys can run a game on you. How do you stop them? I mean, is it a zone defense? Even that's dangerous. I mean, how do you stop this? I mean, I don't want to help anybody, but what do you do here?
I honestly don't know,
Because
because
Kevin Durant underneath the basket, you got Booker a shooter, Chris Paul a shooter, Kevin Durant mid-range maniac,
and then of course all these guys, despite the fact that people are calling the Suns right now the mid-range mafia,
or are they?
between Chris Paul, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and even DeAndre Ayton, they all score well from mid-range. So yeah,
maniacs better.
Maniacs works too, I guess. But yeah, they all. I mean, not Ayton really, but all those other guys shoot threes well too. So you start playing a zone, you just shoot over the zone.
Yep. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. You know, we're sort of easing into the pool. You just sort of walk in there to the pool a little bit, kind of get comfortable a little bit, just kind of easing in, and that's what's happening. And you're right. What day is the Dallas game? Is that Tuesday? Because I know we have the Suns on Friday and then Sunday. So I would imagine
Sunday is the Dallas game.
Sunday is the Dallas game.
Yeah,
okay,
Sunday's
so
the
Friday's the Bulls, Sunday's the Dallas game.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah.
All right, I'm definitely going to mark my calendar for that one. What time is that game, by the way?
11 a.m. Sunday, March 5th, 11 a.m. Yeah.
That's actually pretty good. Get to watch the game and then do other stuff the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And it's on ABC. So
all right.
You have to figure out the Bally's and all that other stuff if that's something you're trying to avoid.
Well, if it's on ABC, I'll just turn on the damn TV.
Yeah.
Is there a problem with me just going to channel 15?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. That's good. Anyway, so yes, looking forward to seeing the Suns Friday and Sunday. So 888-368-1580. Yeah, we were talking just before the break there about, the Cardinals and their situation with their facilities, but I can't imagine it's worse than rat infestation. The Jaguars have a rat infestation. And I guess they're saying that inspectors found 159 incidents of rat droppings, 129 violations in concession stands. So that means that the rats have taken over the place. And if you've eaten concessions at TIAA Bank Field, yeah.
Rest in peace.
You're either dead or your immune system's stronger.
Oh my God. I mean, I imagine if I'm sitting there in Jacksonville and I read that, I'm like, boom, boom, boom. Oh no, God, no. Because ew. My mom, I cleaned out a shed for her the other day, and this is up in Oregon, and she's got there's some mice got in there and chewed on some boxes, just some this basic like field mice. You know what I'm saying? I went in there wearing a mask and gloves, and I was making sure I didn't get anywhere near that poo, in case there had been some in there. It wasn't too bad, but you got to be careful with that stuff. Those critters carry so much disease. Oh, dear Lord. And a rat, a big old effing rat. And then that many rats, and the players were like, when asked, okay, what's the number one thing you'd like change in your facility? Unanimously, the players said, please get rid of the rats. No more rats, please.
I just can't believe
I mean,
an
can you
NFL
imagine
franchise.
Wow.
Rats.
You throw a towel in a hamper and it starts moving around. You're like, no, thank you. No, thank you. Miss Wilbur says, come on, Jeffrey, give Rat Nation a break. First off, I don't think it's Rat Nation. Although it sounds like there is a nation of rats at the Jacksonville Stadium. He says it's likely going to be a gang, maybe 10, 15 rats. They're all kind of chunky, well-fed. It's a giant stadium.
What part of 159 incidents of rat droppings?
And that's only ones the inspectors saw. Imagine how many they didn't see. How many times that, there's a worker who's doing stuff and he reaches over for a hot dog bun. Somebody hands it to him. He looks over. Oh, crap. It's a rat that handed that to me. Like, rats are working in concessions with those guys.
That's a good point. Yeah.
This is very, so,
I asked for a extra hot dog and the rat threw me one.
Oof. I mean, this Fighting Wampa says, if you happen to be in Jacksonville and ate one of them rats accidentally in a hot dog bun, would that be a hot dog or a sandwich? Oh, stop it, Wampa. We're not having that argument. Whether it's a rat or a hot dog.
If it happens in a hot dog bun, it's a damn hot dog.
Jag Dog says Jerome Bozier sounds like Gomer Pyle. No, he sounds like the ladies' man from the old Saturday Night Live days in the 90s.
I don't think he sounds anything like Gomer Pyle.
No, not even. 888-368-1580. So again, I delight in the misfortune of the Los Angeles Lakers. But I don't like doing that. I want it to be a fair fight. I always want it to be a fair fight. And I don't want to wish any injury on any player other than Deshaun Watson. And maybe Kareem Hunt a little bit and some of those guys. But seriously, LeBron James, I wish him no ill, but he's going to be out for 3 weeks. He's got a tendon injury there, and they're taking a look at it 3 weeks from now. So which means he's not just out 3 weeks. They are reevaluating the tendon injury in 3 weeks, which means he's out for a long time. So that means the Lakers probably won't even make the play-in. They probably won't even make the playoffs. Am I going too far, Keon?
I don't think you are. I mean,
because Street Clothes is out again too.
I mean, yeah, he's out too. D'Angelo Russell, of course, still missing from action, though he's probably going to be out less than the other two. But still, I mean, this team was still built to be put around LeBron James. I mean, even if you had Anthony Davis and D'Angelo Russell, you could probably make the play-in. But without LeBron and AD, I just don't see it. There's not a whole lot of firepower, and I do think they do suffer from that issue that the Suns are kind of suffering from too right now, which is when you got that many stars on a team, your bench is what kind of suffers. And so the Lakers aren't particularly deep. They needed those guys out there. And at the very least, they needed LeBron, and they don't have him for at least a month.
Well,
but like you said, possibly more.
I will say this. They did beat the Oklahoma City Thunder last night without LeBron and without AD and without D'Angelo.
123-117 over those guys. Who's missing for Oklahoma City then?
I mean, Oklahoma City, I don't know that anybody's necessarily
or they just stink.
Actually, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander didn't play, and that's their best player. So yeah, he was out, and
otherwise they just stink.
I mean,
it's not impressive. The Lakers beat them.
It's not impressive, but they're an okay team. They're only 2 games behind LA. It's not like
they're meh. Meh versus meh.
Yeah, they're not an awful team, and since they were both hurt, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a really good player that nobody gets to see because he plays in Oklahoma City, but he wasn't playing, and so that does hurt them.
I'm pretty confident that the Lakers are not going to make the playoffs. Also confident Shaquille O'Neal on Inside the NBA. They were talking about how Memphis Grizzlies Dylan Brooks showed up dressed like Stone Cold Steve Austin, wearing a black vest, no shirt, ripped jean shorts. I guess I've never watched the wrestling, so I just have to understand what this means. But Shaquille O'Neal says if the Lakers make the playoffs, he will wear that outfit on the last show of the season. And he wasn't even worried. Straight face. He's like, yep. If they win, I'll wear that. He is not going to wear that.
No,
he would be hilarious if he did.
The Lakers are 11th, which puts them outside the play-in game, and the Pelicans are in front of them. I just don't see it. Not without LeBron and AD.
Kyle G says, I want the Lakers to miss the play-in by one game. That way Patrick Beverly can say he kept them out of the playoffs. Donnie says, Jeffrey, explain your hatred for the Lakers. Well, because they were once the Minnesota Lakers, Donnie. That's why. So suck on that. Damn. I mean, that's not the real reason, but if that's going to get you tweeting, that's fine with me. He says, they have more rings than your previous sons can dream of. My previous? What do you mean previous? They are my always sons. What are you talking about? And yeah, they have a lot of rings, but I'm not talking about Lakers of the past. I'm talking about the Lakers of now, the LeBron James Lakers. That's what I'm talking about. And the fact that, well, there's a rivalry between the two teams. And so when Phoenix can make them cry, we're very, very happy. I'm happy that bad things are happening to the Lakers. I'm not for LeBron being hurt. I don't want Anthony Davis hurt. I got nothing against these guys personally. I'm just, well, if they're going to be hurt on a team, it may as well be the Lakers. That's fair, right?
Yeah, I think that's fair. And look, I'm not interested in trying to count rings with the Lakers. Oh, look how many rings the Lakers have. The Lakers had like a 21-year head start on the Suns in terms of when the teams were established. When the Lakers were in the NBA, the league was smaller. I'm not saying that's the only reason they have all those rings, because they've had a lot of great players through the years. But that argument doesn't do anything for me.
A new texter on the text line, 9910. I just want to, well, hold on. I just want to verify if you're a real texter or one of them Suns bots. I mean, some people will text in saying nice things about the Suns, and we were just talking about the Suns. So 9910, please let me know if you're a real texter or a bot, and then I will read your text completely. Thunder Snow says, Le brow equals le hatred. Le no, what?
Le brow equals le hatred?
I don't hate Anthony Davis, and I don't really hate LeBron James. I don't like him as a player. Got nothing to do with him as a guy. I mean, he's hit and miss on the stupid stuff he will say or tweet every now and then. But, nothing against these guys personally. It's just more about I don't like LeBron the player, the flop-tastic mofo. That's all I'm saying. Let's change gears here a little bit and talk to our Grand Canyon University expert, Keon Rose. Nobody is more well up to date with this team right now. Last I checked, they're ranked 6th going into the WAC tournament. Last night's game, they beat Southern Utah 83-78. Does that mean they're still at 6? Has that been updated, or will a win against Utah Tech on Friday get them to that number 5 position that they're hoping to be in?
I don't know if that has been updated, but I do think the Utah Tech win will absolutely help. Yeah, I mean,
it just has been, and yes, they have slipped up to the number 5 position.
And they just got to keep chopping away at it there, because that's the higher seed you get, the fewer games you have to play to win the conference tournament. And that's really the key there. You don't want to be a lower seed, especially in this tournament, in this conference, just because the teams that play in this conference are so physical that if you have to play and win, 5 games in a row, something like that, like you're putting yourself in a very tough spot. Not that GCU can't do it, but why do that if you don't have to? And I understand that they've had to overcome all kinds of injuries this year, but it still looks like they're playing really good basketball. And, I'd love to see them even try and get up to 4.
Yeah, there might be a possibility for 3. I'm looking at the standings right now in conference play. Southern Utah 11-6, SFA 11-6, Grand Canyon 10-7. So if they beat Southern Utah, they also will be 11-6. And if SFA loses a game, that could put them in the 4 or 3 position, pending, I guess, on how they do tiebreakers there.
Yeah,
I'm not sure,
and I'm also not sure that the standings are going to give us just the pure idea of who's going to be seated where, simply because the WAC switched this year to a ranking system that is based on strength of schedule and games that you've also played outside of conference as well. So it could be possible, depending on how things shake out,
They have
GCU
more
winds up
wins than
being high.
anybody outside of it. I mean, they're 14-4 at home. Their overall is 19-11. I mean, not more than Utah Valley or Sam Houston, but if there's a tiebreaker on that, then it should be that they beat Southern Utah, and that should propel them forward up in an even number 3 situation.
That's what I'm saying. There's a good chance that they actually are higher than we think they are, just because they have played a tough schedule. Bryce Drew even said it at the beginning of the year. This might be the toughest GCU schedule ever. And we saw it throughout the season. They took on some very difficult teams. They beat tough teams in their house, which is also huge. So yeah, it could shake out even better for GCU than we think.
Do you trust Bryce Drew?
I do.
Well, the reason I ask is you got 2 first names, which means he might be a serial killer.
Well, I guess that came to
or an assassin, but he doesn't have 3
yeah.
first names.
Could
or
be an
2
international
first names.
spy.
Right. I don't know. Let's keep an eye on that guy. But in the meantime, we have to take a break. We come back. Let's talk a little bit about ASU. They're right there at the door. It may be the last team that gets into the tournament. We'll talk about their chances if they do or if they don't beat UCLA and what's next for your Sun Devils. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
At Total Wine & More, save big on what you love this month with hundreds of deals. Get up to 35% off over 100 different wines and spirits, including Cabernet, sparkling wine, single barrel bourbon, and so much more. These savings are huge, and even better, they're on top of prices that are already the lowest in town. Deals this good don't last long, so visit Total Wine & More to find yours. Love what you find at the lowest price, only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Hey guys, it's Stephen McCollum from The Main Event, here to tell you about Access Property Advisors. When I need to buy or sell properties or get them rented out, Access Property Advisors gets me the best sales price or lease terms to make my rental properties profitable. Jason Sellers has an impressive team of professionals at Access Property Advisors, experts in just about anything you can need with real estate. So whether you want to find the home of your dreams, sell your home, or manage your rental property, do what I do and give Access Property Advisors a call at 602-614-5590. That's 602-614-5590 or visit accesspropertyadvisors.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-9336. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-444-9336. 800-444-9336.
There's no doubt that Harmon Solar can save you up to 85% on your monthly electric bill. That's a fact. Bruce Jacobs here. But did you know it's possible to get solar for $0 down and no payments for 12 months? You can lease, finance, or even purchase outright. They have plans that fit everybody. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, women-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar at 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com.
Download our free sports app and stay up with all the latest sports news, scores, highlights, and more. Or stream us live anywhere at 1580thefanatic.com. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, Arizona's home for sports.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So GCU beats Southern Utah here on the radio station last night. Tonight, by the way, coming up in the next hour, at the end of the next hour, we got Michigan at Illinois. Wait, is Michigan already eliminated? I thought I saw somewhere that somebody was saying they were eliminated. Or is that just somebody hating on Michigan? It's all right because, you know, the owner of the station is a Michigan State fan, so we can speak freely.
No, it's fair to say I think that Michigan's eliminated.
I think Illinois, as long as Juwan Howard has been the head coach of the Michigan Wolverines, Illinois is undefeated against the Wolverines.
And the Wolverines are at 17-12. And the way that they've played this year against top competition, it's just that they're not making it.
So this game is more about Illinois, or what? Are they? I mean,
Well, they still have to
where
play
they
the
could be in
Big Ten.
bracket.
Still have to play the Big Ten, tournament. But
They can win it. If I had to pick a team to win the Big Ten championship, it's a Big Ten tournament.
Not one of these two.
And we've seen we're in March now. The madness is starting now.
Yeah.
But we would be in some intense madness if Michigan somehow won the Big Ten tournament. I mean, it's crazy.
So we've got a crazy lineup of college basketball for you guys next week. All the championships are happening, but also we're going to be interweaving GCU and their appearance at the WAC tournament and trying to figure out exactly where they're going to be in that bracket is harder. They went from 6th to 5th, and now if they are in 5th, they may play in the middle of the day next Tuesday, and if they win that, then it'd be Thursday, and if they win that, it'll be Friday. You see what I'm saying? So we don't know exactly where they're going to be, but outside of that, we've got on Monday the Southern Conference Championship, on Tuesday the West Coast Championship, on Wednesday the Big Sky Championship. And then, of course, on Friday, we got the Pac-12 semifinal games, both of them. And, of course, we will have the NCAA Pac-12 championship on Saturday. Along with all this, we also have over at Phoenix Raceway, the United Reynolds 200 on that Saturday, and the Ruoff.
Yeah, Ruoff Mortgage.
You say Ruoff?
Ruoff Mortgage.
What the hell is that?
It's a mortgage company named Ruoff.
Okay, I'm just going to leave it alone.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But that is on the day after that. And then, of course, we got an SEC game, the semifinal games. So there's just a mess of college basketball play-by-play getting ready for March Madness here on 1580 The Fanatic, made more difficult just by trying to figure out when is GCU going to play. But, hey, that's our team. So whenever they play, you will hear it here on 1580 The Fanatic. Please be 2 p.m. Please be 2 p.m. Please be 2 p.m.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. And hopefully March 8th, because if it's March 8th, that means they got a higher seed.
Oh, okay. Oh, they get a bye?
Yeah. The top 4 seeds in the WAC tournament, I believe, get a bye.
Oh, interesting. Well, like I said, until the next game happens, and that is tomorrow night against Utah Tech, we won't know for sure what next week is going to look like. So stay tuned, I guess, and we'll figure that out. Also trying to figure out what is going to happen with your Arizona State University Sun Devils. Now, good news, they beat Arizona. Feels good. But then they got to play UCLA tonight at 7 p.m.
Damn it.
Number 4
in LA, where they have not lost. The Bruins. They
have basically got ASU at plus 500 on the money line.
Well, there's always a first time, guys. Come on.
The spread is 11.5.
I'll be rooting for them, obviously, but it's going to be tough. That's the opportunity they had to beat UCLA earlier in the year. You almost wish that they taken advantage of that, because beating them in LA is tough.
So let me ask a question. They get beat by UCLA. Does that end their hopes, their dreams of being in this tournament?
Well, they still have to go through the Pac-12 tournament.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm just a fair question.
And it depends on how they lose. If the game is close and then they do well in the Pac-12 tournament, they're going to be a bubble team with an opportunity to be in. According to the ESPN and Joe Lenardi, who has computers just running all this stuff.
He's got multiple computers running all the time.
Right now, Arizona State would be one of the last 4 teams in, according to all of that data. So the Mississippi State, Boise State, Wisconsin, and ASU would be the last 4 teams in the tournament. Got to handle business now.
They got to do their duty.
You go to UCLA.
What a better place to do their duty than in LA. Hey,
I agree on
that. And you play them, but look, don't get blown out. I mean, as much as moral victories don't mean anything, these computers are always calculating how you play. Were the games close? Did you have to come from behind? Did you barely win it? if you're in range of a UCLA team that is legitimately a top 5 team in the country, they're going to be in all likelihood one of the number 1 overall number 1 seeds rather in the NCAA tournament. You hang with those guys, you give yourself a chance to make it into the NCAA tournament.
888-368-1580. Kiss the Cook says, can I hit the rewind button for a minute? I had to convince my wife that us having chili last night was a coincidence and not because of the Blender's colorful chili conversation. Well, that was yesterday. We talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying, how do you want us to convince her that was it because of that? I don't know. I mean, was it Wendy's chili? I mean, I have more questions than answers for you, Kiss the Cook, but you're on your own. We can't help you. Jagdog says, Ja Morant update. The kid he got into with there was 17 years old, the guy who punched 15 times in the head. Then Morant went home, got a gun, was seen threatening the team. He was not threatening him. It was in his waistband, but he had his hand on it. That was as much as it was. And maybe he was like doing that move. You know what I'm saying? He said, this happened last summer. Why is it coming out just now? That is a very good question. And why wasn't he arrested for punching a minor 15 to 17 times?
Well, I don't know why he wasn't arrested, but the reason why this is coming out right now is because the police reports were leaked to the Washington Post.
So there was a police report and they didn't do anything about anything. And now somebody's released those reports to the Post.
Yes.
So now I need to rewind, just like Kiss the Cook.
Okay.
Why didn't anything happen?
that I don't
exactly
know. I do not have that information at all. Yeah. Why didn't anything happen? That's a great question. And I'm pretty sure probably that's why it got leaked. Somebody was sitting around going, why isn't anything happening? All right, I'm going to force somebody's hand.
And where did this happen?
Newspaper.
Where was this? Where was it that it happened?
Memphis, I believe.
And where does Ja Morant play?
Memphis.
He's a
Grizzlies.
I know that. I'm taking you down that sort of path.
I'm trying
which
to
means that the cops were being just like in
catching
college football. When the city, star players drinking and driving, suddenly you never hear about it again because they take care of their athletes. And in the South, this happens an awful lot more than other places. So Memphis was taking care of Memphis.
Yeah.
And they didn't care about the kid. They cared about the basketball star.
That's what it seems like. And, obviously there's been other stuff that's coming out. The mall security where you threaten the mall cop. And you just go, why didn't somebody do something about that? That one seems to also have been one that got buried a little bit as well.
Well, Randy's chuckle text in, because the a-hole teenager deserved it. Maybe, but also maybe Ja Morant has a problem. And he has a history of this sort of a problem. I wasn't there to know whether that kid deserved anything or not. I don't think anybody deserves to be punched 15 times by you and your friend while he lays on the ground trying to protect his head. I don't think it's necessary to have a gun in your waistband. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of kids I'd like to slap the bleep out of, but you don't do it. Not anymore. So I don't know, Randy's chuckle. I think this is a little bit deeper than just some kid smarting off and getting what he deserves. This sounds like Ja Morant's got some serious issues.
Well, and I'm not siding on either side here. What I'm saying, they were playing basketball too. And by my understanding of the story is Ja Morant fired it at the kid and it was his ball. He fired it at the kid and the kid fired it back and went through his hands and hit Ja Morant. So his pride was probably bruised there quite a bit. And he unleashed the rage on this kid. So
CK, this is just, you might get a penalty. I'm leaving this up to Keon and Randy to decide if you get a penalty. He says, good afternoon, fellas. Randy, beer me. KD fits like a glove. Lakers are trash. Stop being a Sunsbot Nazi, Jeffrey. He called me a Sunsbot Nazi.
Why would he call you Sunsbot
I'm a
Nazi?
Sunsbot protector. I'm protecting you guys from somebody just typing random crap who's not really a member of the Fourth Dimension, then would be taking the time. I normally read your legitimate text. Then I got to read all these Sunsbot BS promo things from whoever's sending them in.
You can't just do that. You just can't randomly go out there and throw shade at Jeffrey, calling him a Nazi. I mean, come on.
That seems absolutely unnecessary.
Sorry,
and I would say
give the guy a chance.
That's 5 minute major.
Go ahead and walk your ass to the penalty box, my friend.
Yeah, I gave that 99-10 a chance, saying, hey, if you really are, let me know. Never heard from him again. So another Sunspot right there. I just want to make sure I give legit texters, primary and preferential treatment over somebody just sitting there and then not really being a part of the show. So love the Suns, hate the Suns bots. 888-368-1580. So any other comments on ASU and their chances? Are we, I'm going to ask Keon, and this is going to be uncomfortable for him. What does your gut tell you? Will the Sun Devils be in the tournament or not? Gut, not political speak, and you don't want people to be mad at you.
No.
What does your gut tell you about the Sun Devils being in the tournament? Not their chances, but whether they will or will not be in.
My gut tells me that they're in.
Really?
Yes, just because of how they've played lately. It's just been this very inconsistent season. And there was a point in the year where I would have said no. When it looked like things were falling apart, when it looked like, oh boy, here goes another Bobby Hurley Suns team, start great and bad. But they seem to have been able to kind of right the ship a little bit. I think they hang with UCLA. Don't think they beat them, but hang with UCLA and a couple of good games in a Pac-12 tournament helps their case immensely. And I'm looking at some of the other teams that might make it in, maybe teams like Clemson, Mississippi State, and those teams are just as streaky as anybody else. My gut says they're in.
Well, it warms the heart, and if they're not in, it'll be hell to pay for you.
I mean,
I want you to know that
there's hell to pay either way.
You don't get my hopes up and then do that to me.
I mean, team according to all the bracketologists have a 47% chance of making it in, and people are going to say I jinxed them somehow. So it doesn't matter. I mean, whatever. I can't win.
Colts fan Dan says, Jeffco, I've said some dumb stuff to you before, but I've never called you a Nazi. Oh, I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. Kiss the Cook says, it wasn't Wendy's chili, but it was after we ate it. I don't get it. Is he just saying that Wendy's chili is
he talking about the flatulation?
Is that what he's talking about?
I think that's a post chili. Don't we?
And CK, I can't read your next text because these guys have decided a 5-minute penalty for you calling me a Nazi.
Yeah. That was a 5-minute major.
Yeah, 5-minute major.
Yeah.
What other implications does a 5-minute major have?
Well, you no text for 5 minutes. If he gets another one, he's off the show for the day.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it's
pretty serious.
Game misconduct. If you get another major, it's game misconduct.
Out of my hands, CK. It's out of my hands. I left it to these guys, and they felt that way. Because if it was about me, I feel like, well, I don't want to be that guy.
Just uncalled for by calling Jeffrey a Nazi. He is the guardian of the text line. He's the protector of the text line, keeping your text flowing and eliminating those that do not belong.
And I filled in for Big Steve's show, and I understand how hard it is to navigate around the Sunspots. So yeah, it's tough. And someone's trying to do a service for the fourth dimension, and you call him a Nazi. It just seems a little ungrateful. In addition to being disrespectful,
sort of like Gandalf the Grey. He's Jeffco, the texter or the text reader. He's Jeffco the Great. There it is, Jeffco the Great. You shall not pass.
Here's another thing. I've never been to Argentina. I have no desire to go there. So you can't call me a Nazi.
Damn.
So about the Combine.
Yeah.
When we come back, we're going to talk all about what's happening at the Combine. And I have come to, at least a personal conclusion about some things in regards to who I want the Colts to take as my next quarterback. And, some other Combine stuff happened. Some people have to apologize and then apologize. And some people doing great things, some people doing dumb things. And we'll figure out what's going on with that race car driver guy and all that other stuff when we come back. So, yes, a whole lot of football in the next hour. Before we get you ready for the game, Michigan is at Illinois coming up later, about an hour from now. So that's what we're doing. And CK, when we get back, you'll be exonerated of your crimes and be able to text again. So wipe those crying eyes, buddy. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HEAT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code HEAT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HEAT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HEAT.
Are you a planner? Do you like to plan ahead? Then, of course, you already have a plan to call Harmon Solar, right? Bruce Jacobs here. It should be at the top of your list to get solar now and enjoy huge savings next summer. Up to 85% on your monthly bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Then you can plan what to do with all that extra money. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, women-owned, local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. This is Matt Crowder live at the gas station on 41st Street, reporting on those skyrocketing gas prices. Excuse me, miss. Are you buying less gas now because of the high prices?
Oh, I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Well, does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Upside app and get real cash back every time you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder Radio News Network. Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LANE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LANE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LANE.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. But prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
This is KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix, 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studio in Scottsdale. And if you heard a loud sonic boom, that was just Kalija Cansey running the fastest 40 ever for a defensive tackle at the scouting combine. He ran a 4.67 40.
Wow.
This is a defensive tackle, 280 pounds, 6-foot man, running at 4.68 seconds. The person whose record he broke, Aaron Donald. So that's exciting. I probably pronounced his name wrong, right? Is it Cansey? Kalija Cansey?
I think that's what it is, but I have not heard his name said out loud. I've only read it, so I can't tell you.
Works for me, man. Hey, and nobody's correcting me for once. That's kind of nice. 888-368-1580. So that just happened at the combine today. And of course, a bunch of other things have transpired. One of them is, the fact that Bryce Young is not throwing. He's not working out for anybody. That means other guys are getting a chance to shine. And I think about the past, right? I think about the past and I think, man, Kyler Murray, nobody said he didn't have a lot of talent. I focus on the fact he was short. And over time, I really do believe that is the biggest problem he has right now. And I feel like if you're too short as a quarterback, you're going to have a limited lifespan. And Bryce Young just makes me nervous. He just makes me a little nervous. It's not just his height. He's not very bulky. And, he could just get destroyed quick. Kyler Murray had more bulk on him than Bryce Young did. And so that's a concern. And so I just keep coming back. I keep coming back to Anthony Richardson. I don't know about Will Levis, but Anthony Richardson just makes me think, that's the guy you grow into and build on. That is a guy I'm just really feeling like I hope that he ends up being the guy. Is he not a guy you can kind of teach into being your franchise quarterback?
Yeah, but my only concern about that, Jeffco, is the guy ready to lead an NFL team right now? I don't know that he is.
I'm okay if he's not, because you get him in there and you get some veteran, not like we ain't done that a million times, and just lose some games and teach them some stuff.
Right.
It's class. It's college classes. You know what I'm saying? We're not expecting anything today, but we're building you for tomorrow.
And I do like that the Colts went out and hired an offensive coordinator. They got Shane Steichen, and I don't know what Steichen's going to do for the Colts, but I do know that they're going to give Steichen time to build this team. And that means he's got a 2 to 3 year window where he can work with Anthony Richardson, get him up to speed, get him to understand the NFL game, and hopefully clean up some of the stuff that's holding him back. Anthony Richardson completed 53% of his passes when he was at the University of Florida. That's not good. That's 111th in the FBS. And so, with a lot of the inaccuracy, what was that? Footwork. They got to clean that stuff up. And I think that they can. That's fixable. It's one of those things we used to think wasn't, but lately guys have been coming out of college inaccurate. Josh Allen is the biggest one. And then by working with coaches who know what the hell they're doing, they're able to clean up some of that footwork, fix a lot of the accuracy issues. Because I was watching some Anthony Richardson highlights earlier today. I mean, he throws the ball on a rope. It gets to where he wants it to go in a hurry. Now you just got to get him to do it at an accurate level. And of course, the other tools that are there too, the mobility, the ability to just break tackles if he does decide to run. He's a big, strong guy. So I think that there is something there. And I also think that if you want Anthony Richardson, you don't have to trade up to 1 or 2 to go get him.
That was the next question. If you just hang around with the 4th pick, he's going to fall to you. It's not like anybody's trading up for Anthony Richardson.
Not yet anyway. I know that sometimes a player catches on over the course of this process, and then a player that we thought maybe wouldn't have been considered a first overall pick does. Multiple teams go, you know what? We talked to him at the pro day. We like his mindset. We got to see the arm strength in person. Yeah, maybe there's something there. But for right now, the way he's being evaluated right now, I think you can stay right there at 4 and get your guy.
And here's the other part. Let's say we get the Anthony Richardson and we're teaching him. And then the next year we're teaching him and it doesn't take. Well, guess who's available then? You're right. A Manning. See where I'm thinking? I don't want a Kyler Murray who maybe we do, maybe we don't. Oh my God, we're going to win too many games. Either Anthony Richardson ends up being the answer in 2 years or the answer is coming soon. I really like this idea because then you either end up with your franchise quarterback or now you can just go get your franchise quarterback. That's right. I need me a Manning. Arch Manning to the Colts whenever he's available. That's all I'm saying. That's the strategy that I want right there. Please don't trade up for Bryce Young, please. That's all I want.
I think with Bryce, I don't know. I just like the way he approaches the game. I like his preparedness, and I just like his ability to take over a football game completely and to be able to do it even if he doesn't have the best talent. And I think that is the part that makes me think that he's special. But Anthony Richardson, you just know you're playing the game with upside. You're not going to be getting a guy that is going to be ready anytime soon.
Who won the Heisman, by the way? I forgot. Was that Stroud or was it Who won the Heisman this year? You've even forgotten.
Yeah, I am completely blanking on it right now.
Oh, you should probably look that up. 888-368-1580. CK says, fresh out of Blended
Caleb
Jail.
Williams.
Well, where did he go? Where's he at?
He's not eligible yet.
Oh, yeah.
He'll be eligible next year.
Okay. Let's see. Hefty Lefty says, Bryce had got that dog in him. Bryce had got that dog in him? I don't understand that.
Meaning he's a dog. He's a player. He's a brute. He's a guy that can go out and play the game. He got that dog in him.
Yeah, he's that will to win, which that's
he's a competitor.
That's my favorite part about his game, to be honest.
I just worry. I don't know if that's a long-term success. I really worry about that. He's taller than Kyler Murray, so I don't know, maybe. But I guess what happens is if they get him, if they go up and get that guy, I've just got to accept it and hope for the best. I don't know.
And I will say this, because I think part of the reason why stuff doesn't work with Kyler the way that you want it to, a lot of that has to do with Kyler's personality and his demeanor. And if Kyler doesn't respect you, it's hard to coach him. I don't think you have that problem with Bryce. He's a different dude entirely. Okay. He went to Alabama. He played for Nick Saban. You take hard coaching when you're at Alabama. You don't have a choice. And to be able to be a guy that Nick Saban speaks highly of in that regard, I think that that's huge. I mean, look at the guys that Nick Saban has really had play quarterback for him. Mac Jones, at least while he was at Alabama, didn't say a word. Tua, I mean, again, that personality that takes responsibility, takes coaching. Jalen Hurts takes coaching. Bryce Young is in that same mold. He's more of a Jalen Hurts than he is a Kyler Murray, personality-wise.
Text on the text line, Mr. Pink Eye wants to know what Scoot Henderson did to KD. That is a good question, because KD just went after him for no apparent reason, threw him under the bus along with Charles Barkley and Shaquille O'Neal. I'm still trying to sort out exactly what was said. Here's what it is. He says, at this point, they're saying, go play with Scoot Henderson and win a championship. Then we'll give you credit. He says, I don't need any credit from you guys. No credit from Barkley or credit from Shaq. Y'all don't ever have to watch me play ever again. Don't talk about me if you don't rock with me. I'm not going to stop doing what I do. Everybody has their opinion, man. It's not going to stop me in how I approach the game.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem like Scoot had anything to do with this, except that he's Scoot Henderson.
Yeah. Did they say go play with Scoot Henderson, or did they just nobody else but Kevin Durant mentioned Scoot Henderson?
I think Kevin mentioned Scoot Henderson. His point was, that's who I was playing with. Because Kyrie had all the Kyrie issues, and because James Harden didn't really want to be there, and because Ben Simmons decided that he wanted to not play basketball for his mental health thing, I still struggle to wrap my mind around. Kevin was out there playing with role players, a team full of role players, and people were saying that's the only way we're going to give you respect. No, you got to play with stars in this league. That's the way it is right now. Thank you, LeBron, in 2010.
So only thing that Sterling Henderson can say right now is, hey, what the hell, man?
What did I do?
Why?
You didn't do anything wrong. You were just Scoot Henderson.
I didn't feel very good at all.
You could have picked another person. It wouldn't have mattered.
Didn't feel very good at all for Rashad Bateman listening to GM Eric DeCosta saying, I am so bad at drafting wide receivers. I just don't know why. I just haven't had a whole lot of luck. I've been bad at this. I just want to take responsibility. And he says, one of these times we'll hit the ball out of the park with a good draft. We've just never really hit on that all-pro type of guy. Rashad Bateman's like, hey, what the hell?
Excuse me, I'm right over here.
So he responds to the message, hey, how about you play to your players' strengths and stop pointing the finger at us in number 8? He said, talking about Lamar Jackson. Blame the one you let do this. We take the heat 24/7. Oh, by the way, keep us healthy. Care about us. See what happens. Ain't no promises, though. Tired of y'all lying and capping on players for no reason. So that was awkward. And then later, Rashad Bateman here, he just came back and says, I apologize. That was all he said. What he said, my apologies. So, Yeah, Eric DaCosta. Hell is wrong with you, man?
Yeah, I don't think DaCosta was trying to put anybody down, but when you say I suck
gotta
at drafting
think.
receivers, who do you think is going to hear that except the receivers that you've drafted? You know,
Hey,
that's
Randy,
it's a big problem.
I just want to apologize to you.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
just want to apologize to you. I suck at finding third man co-hosts on this show.
Okay.
Year in, year out.
Going right there.
We just,
Yeah.
we haven't had an all-pro guy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's
So
unfortunate.
it's
I
on
mean,
me.
Yeah, I know. And we've had several, and we just can't seem to get it right, can we?
Everybody brace yourself. Here comes Keon.
I think you got it right this time. I don't know.
Oh, I wanted some shade. Tired of y'all lying and capping on us board ops for no reason. Man, that is one of those little slips that's really going to hurt you. It hurts you with Lamar. It hurts you with the locker room. And I know he's not the coach, but you got to be friendly with the locker room,
Yeah, and of course, if guys are mad at you, I mean, who talks to the agent? It's the general manager. I mean, they're going to have those conversations. And if a player just doesn't want to work with you because, wow, it really just seems like you slammed your whole wide receiver room. Now, to Eric DaCosta's credit, it's true. He hasn't been good at drafting wide receivers.
Okay, it's not fair about Rashad because he had some injuries, so he wasn't able to go out there and do much. He missed 5 games because of a groin surgery when he was a rookie, and he only played 6 games in 22. Then he had foot surgery, so he's had a little bit of issue getting out there.
But it counts the track record right now that you haven't found the guy.
Fair enough.
Not
Fair
that
enough,
necessarily that Rashad
not
Bateman
nice to hear
stinks.
if you're Rashad Bateman.
And the same thing I would say, with a guy like Hollywood Brown, who was really good, but you want to talk about that number one guy, the guy that just absolutely breaks a defense. Neither of those guys have been that for various reasons. So for Eric DaCosta to say that, I think that's more along the lines of what he had in mind is we just never found the guy that when you look at some of these other teams that are able to go out and get a DeAndre Hopkins or a Julio Jones, like that's the kind of player they want to get for Lamar. And the Ravens don't spend money on wide receivers. They just don't do it. They are 32nd in the league in terms of wide receiver payroll right now. $7 million towards wide receivers. It's crazy.
Your GM should be smarter, though. Your GM should not need a cranial rectal inversion reversal, when he's sitting there talking at a combine.
Yeah, it's not like, you were walking out of M&T Trust where the Ravens play, and then the media ambushed you and you didn't know what to say. And you went, I suck at drafting wide receivers. Like, you knew the combine was coming. All of these coaches have statements prepared and they have questions they know they're going to have to answer. Got to be prepared.
Don't say, if I had an answer, that would probably mean I would have some better receivers. Not good.
I don't know who caught it worse there. The Ravens receivers or Scoot Henderson. Just minding their own business, and then all of a sudden, here comes a massive insult. Because one is coming from your general manager, so that stinks, and the other one is just
Scoot Henderson, probably because he's just now it makes it sound like Kevin Durant doesn't want to play with him because he's a piece of crap, not because he had just been playing with him. So it sounds worse, doesn't it? And then Scoot. If I'm Scoot Henderson, I'm like, all right, everybody, we're calling me Sterling now because I don't want to be a part of that story anymore.
Who is this Scoot guy you keep talking about?
Man, my name is Sterling. All right, so get off me. The Lions, they have a cool and crazy coach, but they've always just been this side of the Browns, right? And they've come out and said, they're like, well, okay, here's the deal. Well, I want you all to know we're really looking to address this backup quarterback position. Wink, wink. We got a great quarterback, but we're going to be probably thinking about drafting a quarterback, for the backup role. Wink, wink. It's nothing that Jared Goff should have to worry about, but we'll be looking maybe. Jared Goff with the cap hits of $30.97 million next year, and then $31.97 the year after. That's nothing to do with this. That's nothing to do with this. We're looking for a backup for him.
Yeah,
a friend. We're getting you a friend.
Companion.
Don't worry about the fact that we might be trying to draft your replacement. Here's the thing, though. Can I just say they'll get away with it because he's not smart like Aaron Rodgers. And, you know, Jared Goff is like, okay, you know, and then Aaron Rodgers is like, bull crap, I'm going to get me some tequila if you do that nonsense. And ever since they drafted Jordan Love, he's been a bit cranky. They'll say, no, we're all getting along great. He's fine. No, he's never gotten over that. He's petty enough to never get over it. Jared Goff is just like, can I have an ice cream bar? And then that's all you got to worry about. You know? So you're going to get a quarterback for me? A quarterback for me? Yay! And then they'll both get, hey, he have an ice cream bar too. I'll tell him my brother. And I will love him. I will show him the football. That's how it goes for Lions. So all they have to say is, yeah, we're just thinking about a backup.
I mean, it probably will be a backup if they take one in the second round. They have 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. If they use a first rounder on a quarterback, can he share my locker with me? I will share with him. I will share with him. I will comb his hair. But that's Jared Goff right there. That's not a replacement.
That is I mean, it scares me how much I sound like Jared Goff right now. It made me wonder for a moment, am I Jared Goff?
I don't know if he sounds like that.
Yeah, I'm
he
pretty sure he
totally
does. Yeah.
He just go listen to any interview.
Yeah. Of all
the way
of
back
Jeffrey's of all of Jeffrey's imitations, that one's spot on. Yeah.
You just go back to the one where he's like, I don't know where the sun sets. Am it over here? Or is it over here?
I remember that one. Never mind. I stand
That's just
corrected.
uncanny. What I'm saying? That's uncanny, Jeffrey. Uncanny.
You're welcome, America. All right, we got to take a break. We'll back with one more segment before we get over to the Michigan and Illinois game here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-9336. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-444-9336. 800-444-9336.
GCU men's basketball is back on The Fanatic. Listen along with Lopes insider Paul Coro and the voice of the Lopes, Michael Potter, for every moment of exciting Lopes action.
Friday night, GCU is still in Utah to take on Utah Tech, live from St. George. The tip time is 7 p.m.
Listen all season long as the Lopes make their way through the WAC and try to punch their ticket into the madness of March. It's GCU Lopes basketball, only on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
That was a very brief break. I feel like there should have been more break during that break.
One spot in the promo.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. Wow, I'm rested. I don't know about you guys. I am refreshed.
Boy, do I feel good. Going back to your last point, Jeffrey, about what the Lions are saying to the public, so that Jared Goff will hear them clearly. This sort of information is going to be coming out more and more as we get closer to the draft. I mean, come on, it is the season to have GMs and even coaches go out there and say, "Oh, we're not drafting a replace." Come on now.
Who, me?
Yeah, not us. I mean, we love our starting quarterback. The Lions we love Jared Goff. Don't get us wrong. Yeah, and if they've got four picks in the first 2 rounds. Yeah,
but
their true intentions are going to come out with one of those 4 picks.
I'm sure they'll draft a quarterback, but I don't know if they're drafting his replacement, especially if they take him in the 2nd round.
You know, so if they'll take a guy, they can build into his replacement.
So if they let's say they get Will Levis from Kentucky, and he comes in there and he just absolutely scorches Jared Goff in the OTAs and the preseason workouts. You think they're not going to try to make him the new starting quarterback?
Of course, the Lions have the Rams pick at 6. If they sat there and took Will Levis at 6, they're replacing Jared Goff. but I don't think they're replacing him because I don't think at 6, with the way Goff played last year, that you take a quarterback there.
Maybe it's the fact they're like, all right, so what we really need is a quarterback who can play when it's cold. Okay, so we'll play Jared Goff when it's warm. Then we'll play this other guy when it's cold.
Well,
we'll call it the temperate rotation.
Yeah, and again, I am always opposed to this.
I don't think Jared Goff is going to complain. He's going to be like, "Oh, thank you very much. It's so cold out there. I'll be in the locker room."
I just think that with that, I think when you've got a team and you found a quarterback who can play at a solid enough level, and he was above solid last year, you go ahead and put talent and weapons around that guy, and if it turns out down the road that Jared Goff isn't your quarterback, you can replace him then. But the way he's playing right now, you build that's what you do. Go find somebody to put on that defense. Your secondary was
Don't you
terrible.
tell Shane Campbell how to do
maybe go draft Christian Gonzalez out of Oregon. I don't think that's what Dan Campbell's thinking. I don't think they're trying to replace the dude.
Big George says, I think if one more Upside commercial comes in your station, you might have to call the place Upside 1580. Well, we were going to wait to make the announcement, but you're listening to Upside 1580.
As it turns out,
we have an announcement for you here.
We are now Upside 1580. All right. I'm sorry. What is Upside again? What is it? I don't even know what it is.
It's a cashback app.
We don't
fill up gas at certain places. And they give you cash back, apparently.
We don't listen to commercials here. 888-368-1580. Hefty Lefty says the Ravens training staff was getting thrown under the bus by Bateman too, and other players. Well, listen, training staff, okay, why not? Why not? But
the hardest working people on the staff, why not? Yes, of course.
Well, no, because if they're not any good and they came out in that NFLPA thing that they sucked, I mean, that I can understand.
Yeah.
But the GM saying, well, I have never drafted a good wide receiver in my life. It's just like a weird blind spot for me. Son of a bitch.
I do everything so well. Why the wide receivers all the time?
CK, don't send me links. I'm not going to click on them. Just tell me what that is. Baker's Cocky Hen says, is that what they say when Bigfoot is wiping his butt on the forest floor? Scoot Henderson. Wow, that was a long way to go for that, Baker's Cocky Hen. Going back and referencing a Bigfoot movie from the 80s.
That is a 2 minute, sir. That's
at
2
least
minutes.
Yeah.
2 minutes at least. So Chris Ballard makes me a little nervous right now. Not because I'm worried about how we're going to trade up or what quarterback the Colts will take, but the story came out today where they're like, hey, so what's the story with Matt Ryan there? And he just kind of like, I don't know.
I don't want to talk about it.
Who? Hey, Matt Ryan, the guy is due some money there from you. He's going to get $12 million guaranteed if he doesn't retire. So, are you cutting him? Are you cutting him, or what are you doing? And they're like, we're going to work that out with Shane, the coach, and we'll work through it. That next week. That makes me a little scared.
Meaning?
Well, what if they don't get the guy they really want? They're like, all right, Matt, it's yours again.
Well, that is a clear intent to tank. If you do that is a clear. Listen, Caleb Williams is going to be there next year. Matt, let's ride one more time. If you can really do it, really focus this year and get us to the absolute bottom of the league, we'll have the best
4-win garbage. 2. We're looking for 2.
Because I don't know how else to sell that. I mean, Matt Ryan was clearly terrible.
If you take this coming season, that takes you out of the.
It does take you out of the
Arch Manning running.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we'll have to take that. Thank you.
Please, Chris Ballard. Please, just Richardson's fine. Take Richardson. Just get rid of Matt Ryan. Take the hit. Okay, the Colts could save $17.2 million if they cut Matt Ryan. Before March 17th. So you have to imagine they're going to. They just have to. There's just no way Matt Ryan is going to be the future unless they're sitting there thinking, do we pay a guy $35.2 million to be a veteran presence and to mentor the next guy? Is he a guy that paying that much money makes sense to mentor Richardson?
Not that much money.
Not when you have Shane Steichen.
The whole point of drafting a rookie quarterback that high is that they don't cost anything. and you can put talent around the quarterback. If you're paying that much money just to have a guy be a mentor, then you might as well have just a big money quarterback. Like there's no point. You got to get rid of Matt Ryan. They've got until the 15th to do it, but you got to get rid of him. You do. You don't have any more room to maneuver if you go out there and you keep a $30 million guy on your roster.
Lacrosse guy says, Jeffrey, did you draft the Speedo guy? That dude was weird. Keon is 100 times better. 1,000 times better.
Oh, thank you. I presume only because I don't wear Speedos.
Phil was just
that does help 1,000.
Yeah. Phil was just a bridge operator. He was filling time until we got Phil was filling time. I made it funny. See what I did there?
Yeah, Phil was Jacoby Brissett. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just filling time.
The guy before that was Carson Wentz. We're just trying to work. We're working the waiver wire, trying to find what we find. We hung in there and we got what we wanted in the draft. So there you go. 888-368-1580. But good God, Chris Ballard, get rid of him. Get Matt Ryan off the board, please.
Got 15 days to go, right? It's got to be the 17th,
and
right?
Maybe he's thinking there's a way we can restructure so we don't end up taking a massive cap hit this season.
For the veteran presence.
Yeah. That makes sense. That's a way that you can handle it too. So maybe they're working through that as a possibility.
Matt Ryan used to be a good quarterback, and I think he probably does have some knowledge to convey.
Yeah. I mean, I think even watching him last year, Matt Ryan's mind, quarterback wise, still there. His arm is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. It's a noodle.
Restructure him, keep him around. Then okay. Now I'll be fine. Mike McCarthy fired the hell out of Kellen Moore, but he wasn't done there. After that, he decided to just sort of throw him under his bus, which, by the way, if you get ran over by a bus carrying Mike McCarthy, you're not going to make it.
It's like being run over by 5 buses.
For sandwich eating mofo, we have scientifically proven that he's got a pocket sandwich, a sandwich in his hand, a sandwich under his hat, and yet another sandwich in another pocket. So he's a 4 sandwich eating mofo. Here's what he's saying about Kellen. He says, hey, I've been where Kellen's been. Like he's trying to, be nice, but not be nice.
Yeah.
Here's what he really says. Kellen wants to light the scoreboard up, but I want him to run the damn ball so I can rest my defense. I think when you're a coordinator, but you're in charge of the offense. Being a head coach and being a play caller, you're a little more in tune with everything. Okay, so basically, that just shows you how dumb Mike McCarthy is. You need some points. And if you just start running the ball, you better have the kind of runners who can score those points. And Tony Pollard is a dynamic runner. Zeke Elliott has moments, but you got to really throw that ball with Dak Prescott. There has to be a well-rounded offense, and you can't just be sitting there as a defensive-minded person saying, well, I really got to rest this defense, run the ball. And then all of a sudden you find yourself in a 3rd and long and you're screwed. You can't do that either. But Mike McCarthy throws Kellen Moore under the bus and then shows you a little bit of his mindset as a head coach. And I think it's a recipe for losing. Tell me if I'm wrong.
I think it is a recipe for losing. And when you have such receivers as Michael Gallup and CeeDee Lamb and how well those guys played this year, and I thought CeeDee, had some drops, but he made some big strides as a wide receiver. And I thought, they looked good at points this year. Lighting up the scoreboard, I think, is what you want to do in the modern NFL, because then you put the team that you are beating in obvious passing situations because they have to catch up. And then your defense
makes it easier for them.
Makes it easier because they only have to figure out how to stop one thing, the pass. They don't have to figure out, is it run, is it a pass? They can figure that out. It's a pass. They have to throw the ball here. Let's go after the quarterback and just pin their ears back and go.
Yeah, but speaking as a fan of the Arizona Cardinals, who had a miserable head coach last year, and the quarterback and coach were arguing at all times, and they threw the ball, 3 and out. I agree with Mike McCarthy to a certain extent. You've got to have some time for your defense to recover on the sideline.
Balance.
So you need to have balance. Exactly right. You can't just go out there. And by the way, we're talking about Dak Prescott here. All he did was lead the NFL in interceptions last year. So maybe running the football on occasion would be a good idea. So that you could just hang on to the ball a little longer.
But here's the thing: you don't throw Kellen Moore under the bus.
Oh no,
that doughy little Debbie sandwich eating little guy. You don't throw him under the bus, because had Dak Prescott performed, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Exactly right.
Everything worked. You can call a good offense. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, that didn't work because who? Well, because it's Dak Prescott. And, so you can't completely 100% blame Kellen Moore's play calling on this. This was a move by Mike McCarthy to save Mike McCarthy.
Yeah. Oh, you're 100% right. And by the way, Kellen Moore, all he did was go to one of the most dynamic offensive schemes in all of football. And that's what the Los Angeles Chargers. Who do you got back there? Justin Herbert?
That's going to be interesting.
That's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
All of Kellen Moore's plays, but done by a quarterback who can
execute. Yeah.
And I think that even though they had Dak, and we all know Dak's limitations, and he seems like an awfully expensive game manager at quarterback right now, they still average 28 points a game. At that point, win football games. Because if you're scoring 28 a game, to me, if your defense is any good, you win them.
Well, but the Dallas defense was good. There were many situations, though, that they lost the football game because their defense was absolutely winded because Dak threw another interception or they couldn't get a first down. It was, penalties were killing these guys. That's where it's got to start. You got to cut these penalties in half, man.
Yeah, but and that goes on to the head coach because that's a discipline.
I
thing.
100% agree with you there too.
To me, the problem that they were trying to light up the scoreboard, that's not the issue. You light up the scoreboard early, then you run the football to close the game out. The idea that he was trying to light up the scoreboard and you just needed this balance throughout the game. The difference between the Cowboys and the Cardinals last year, with all due respect, Randy, is that the Cardinals were throwing the ball a bunch, but they weren't scoring. The Cowboys, despite everything you just mentioned, scored. So there's got to be more to it than that, and part of it is
take a closer look at the defense.
Yeah, I mean and their secondary, I think, is kind of fraudulent if we're 100% honest with you. I mean, a lot of their strength is
Kellen Moore must go.
Defensive line and linebackers were the strength of that Cowboys defense was. People were able to throw over the top of that. That had nothing to do with them being tired. Even when they were 100%, people were still throwing the football over the top of that defense.
Cardinal Art says, don't forget about the foot-long sub tucked under Mike's gut and the party sub Zeke is carrying for them both.
Yeah.
How about a cold brew there, Randy, please? Well, those are rumored, not actually proven. So we're still going to stick with them being a poor sandwich eating mofo.
Yeah.
If we can confirm the 5th or 6th, then that will change.
Well, there was some rumors about a 6-footer in his right inseam, but we're still investigating whether it's a sub or not. Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't want to know. I'd like to stop the investigation there.
Well, I mean, I feel like we need to feel this out a little further.
I would rather not.
You go right on ahead.
Somebody else can do it. We'll leave that to the guys down the dime. They can investigate that if they'd like.
Why is Mr. Wilbur texting Debbie Boone? You light up my life. I do not understand that text. I think that deserves a 2-minute penalty. Kyle G says Goff was never Detroit's long-term plan. They should trade up with the Cardinals and get Richardson at pick 3. You shut your whorish mouth. The hell, Kyle?
I don't think Goff was originally their long-term plan, but he played his way into that. And so I think if they sit there at 6 and a guy they really like falls to 6, just, if Richardson falls in their lap, you might have to think about drafting him, but I wouldn't trade up to go get anybody with the situation that they're in.
I know Jeffrey said that Jared Goff is historically not a cold weather quarterback, but he sure as hell surprised everybody when he went to Lambeau Field.
The end of the season, yes.
At the end, with nothing to do, nothing to win, nothing to gain here, went in there and beat the damn Green Bay Packers anyway.
And put up 300 yards while doing it.
And there you go.
I just forgot it was cold. I forgot.
It was 9. They're 9-8 last year with Jared Goff. And
Coach
that was
put
with
a hot potato in my hand warmer. I was fine.
Oh boy. And that was without a defense that was with a defense that didn't exist. They were 9-8.
Baker's cocky hen says Stroud is the only quarterback worth a first-round pick this year. Best of luck to anyone who drafts anyone else.
That's simply not true. If they all come with upsides and downsides, there's
just simply not true.
The bust rate in the NFL at quarterback, guys drafted in the first round is 50%. The idea that you've got one guy in a draft where we've been talking about these 3 guys all year long, you don't know that. I'm sorry.
Glendale Runner, haven't heard from you in a couple months, says, here is the plan. Suck 2 years in a row, draft quarterbacks first round, second year in a row. Call Steve Keim. He wrote the playbook on how to sell that. Oh, I see. So first, you draft a bad quarterback. And then the next year you fire your head coach and you draft another first round quarterback.
Uh-huh.
And you hire.
I'm listening.
Uh-huh.
I'm listening.
Go on.
Yes.
But you'd have to do it 2 years in a row to get you to Arch, though.
Worth it? Maybe.
I don't think
Don't
so.
know.
At that
I want to
point,
watch him play for Texas first.
You could have drafted 2 guys and then just drafted Arch. Drafted 2 players at another position that might help him, and then just draft Arch. Why draft 2 quarterbacks and fire a coach and fire?
There you go. You're on the clock, and as I say, the hell, the Colts just drafted a kicker in the first round. What? You're not allowed to be that obvious, guys. You're not allowed to be that obvious. I love you, Arch Manning. So yeah, all right. So I'm really looking forward to Kellen Moore doing well over there with the Chargers. So, by the way, speaking of quarterbacks and stuff, Jason Lick, the guy over there, the GM for the Buccaneers, the guy who at this moment is like, what are we gonna do? He has nothing. He doesn't have a good draft pick. He has no hope. I don't know what the hell the Buccaneers are going to do. But even he's sitting there like, well, I know Tom Brady retired, but I know that one year I said, hey, I'll leave a desk lamp on for you, buddy. And then last year I said I'd leave a light on for him. I don't know, like maybe a flashlight this year. I didn't say anything. A flashlight. What do you need, buddy? What do you need? What do you need? Buccaneers are so screwed.
They are screwed. Have they tried
too good for a good draft pick? Oh God, seriously? They're talking to Derek Carr?
I don't know, but they should. What other options do they have? I understand it's a far drop off. You're going from Brady to Carr. I understand that. But what other options do you have?
Maybe they'll
Kyle
use
Trask.
Maybe they will use Kyle Trask until this quarterback you think is worth waiting for next year. What's his name again? The guy for next year?
Caleb Williams is probably going to be the number 1 quarterback in the draft next year. And Kyle Trask was a guy they drafted, I believe, in the 5th round. It's an experiment. But there were so many
higher than Tom Brady.
So I mean, sure, but Kyle Trask is not Tom Brady. I watched Kyle Trask at Florida, and I am telling you, he's not Tom Brady.
It really hurt Kyle Trask's feelings just there.
I'm pretty sure I did, and I am so sorry.
Really
Kyle Trask is my
kindness. It's not kindness.
I get that. I understand that Kyle Trask
is, and then you're roughing up hummingbirds for no apparent reason in your hands.
Dark side to him.
I know he really does. He does have a dark side.
None of those things happen.
Now he just speaks completely disrespectful to Kyle Trask.
Kyle Trask is my Scoot Henderson today, and I am sorry,
I don't
Kyle.
think so. I'm
sorry.
I don't know.
Kyle Trask is driving through Arizona. Wait, what? Come on, man.
The hell's going on here?
What's this all about? Ladies and gentlemen, it is
slow
time
release,
now.
Kyle. It's slow.
And he's like, and I'm gonna have to drive with snow chains in Arizona. This is not a good trip for me.
You run like you've got snow chains on your feet. I don't know what to tell you.
Ouch! Damn. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 1966, Chicago's Bobby Hull became the first NHL player to have 2 50-goal seasons when he scored a third period goal in the Blackhawks' 5-4 victory over the Red Wings. Back to me, Jeffrey.
Wow.
I know I got to go quick with that because I think we'll run up against the
that was a fast one.
That
was a fast one there.
By the way, also on this date, Wilt Chamberlain with the Warriors, that when they were in Philadelphia, had his 100-point game.
Wow.
We do that one most every year, so that's why I went with Bobby Hull this year. But I just can't not mention Wilt Chamberlain holding up that little 100 like, There you go. Here you go, Whitey. See what you've been missing?
And here you go. Rest of the NBA forever, because none of you have broken this record.
Yeah, this is a 100 message to a lot of different people. Suck on that. I love that look in his face, because everything I just said, you can see it right there in his eyes. Beautiful.
So glib. It's amazing.
Well, all right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for us. Why? Because coming up here in just a couple minutes, you got Michigan taking on Illinois. Michigan with nothing to live for. Illinois with everything to prove. And that game is up next. We'll be back in your radios again tomorrow. Full show, 3 hours. Ralph from Harmon Solar is going to join us. So get your knives sharpened, because I know with the Lakers and the Dodgers and the everything. Well, figuratively speaking, not literal, Randy.
Oh.
Not literal.
Okay.
Okay.
Right, I'll put this away then.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the game. It's the Daily Blender. You're on 1580, The Fanatic. Goodbye.